For Comedy Hype News, I'm Terrence Sims. A studio committing the act of a breach of contract is something that happens far too often. In July 2021, Scarlett Johansson made headlines for suing Disney for a breach of contract. Comedian Woody Allen and Amazon Studios reached a $68 million settlement for their breach of contract after refusing to release any of Allen's work due to sexual misconduct allegations. When it comes to the case of Robin Williams versus Walt Disney Studios, the battle didn't make it all the way to the courts, but it did sour the relationship between the talent and the company for years to come. When Robin Williams signed on to play the Genie in Aladdin, he was lied to and the company went back on their word. Here's why Robin Williams refused to work with Disney again. In 1991, casting for Aladdin was underway. When the studio first approached Robin Williams for the role as the Genie, according to the Washington Post, he sent the script back unread after finding out this was a Disney movie. The film directors John Musker and Ron Clements then gave the film's animators the task of studying and listening to Robin Williams' stand-up albums and animated scenes around the audio. Musker and Clements created the Genie with Robin Williams in mind. However, Walt Disney Studios president Jeffrey Katzenberg suggested John Candy, Steve Martin, and Eddie Murphy for the role. After several negotiations, Williams eventually accepted the role and began recording his dialogue during his downtime from filming two other films he would be starring in 1991's Hook and 1992's Toys. Due to Williams' tendency to ad-lib and improvise while performing, he was given the full creative freedom to do so. In some scenes, Williams was given the topics and dialogue. By the end of production, it's predicted that Williams improvised up to 52 characters. The animation team reviewed the recorded audio and selected the best lines to create animation to match. 1987's Good Morning Vietnam was produced by Touchstone Pictures, a distribution label owned by the Walt Disney Company. Williams not only starred in the film, but also won a Grammy for Best Comedy Recording and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in his performance. Williams agreed to voice the Genie for a reported $75,000, way lower than his usual asking price of $8 million. The condition? Robin Williams' name or image could not be used for marketing, and his supporting character could not take up more than 25% of space on advertising artwork. The reason behind the move was because Williams was scheduled to appear in another film, Toys, that was expected to be released less than a month after Aladdin. The Genie was originally intended to have a smaller role, but according to Robin Williams himself, there's about 30 hours of recorded material for the Genie. I was improvising, and the animators came in and laughed, and it just grew. In times like this, when there's so much crap running around, it's great to laugh and be free. I felt wonderful. That's why I did it. And it was such a pleasure when it came out and people said, I loved it as much as my kid did. After realizing the potential in Williams' performance and due to financial reasons, the studio completely changed the film, extended the role of the Genie, making him a major character, and went back on their deal and included the Genie in more than 25% of advertising posters while having other characters appear smaller. Disney did not use Williams' name in any of the commercials as requested in his contract, but the character was used in a commercial and merchandising including fast food tie-ins without even having to pay Williams any additional money. In the Disney's Hyperion book, Aladdin, The Making of an Animated Film, both of Williams' characters, the peddler and the Genie, were listed before the main characters, but were forced to refer to him as the actor signed to play the Genie. Williams was not notified by the changes, but found out shortly after the film's release, and he was driving through downtown Los Angeles and bus shelters featuring blue posters of the Genie and none of the film's other characters. And this was after the marketing material was ran past his ex-wife, Marcia Garcés Williams. Williams felt like the studio executives didn't hold up their end of the deal, so Williams contacted Jeffrey Katzenberg to complain. Katzenberg apologized, and all 300 of the bus shelter posters were destroyed and recalled. Williams later learned that thousands of posters were created and posted all over the country, where they remained the entire time of Aladdin's theatrical run. It wasn't as if we hadn't set it out. I don't want to sell stuff. It's the one thing I don't do. The only reason Mickey Mouse has 3 fingers is because he can't pick up a check. And Mork and Mindy, they did Mork dolls. I didn't mind the dolls. The image is theirs. But the voice, that's me. I gave them myself. When it happened, I said, you know, I don't do that. And they apologized. They said it was done by other people. Aladdin was released on November 25th, 1992, and was made on a budget of $28 million. The film ended up grossing over $504 million, becoming the highest earning movie of 1992. The critical reviews matched the box office success, with a lot of praise going to Williams, calling it the best part of the film. Williams even won a Golden Globe Award for Special Achievement. It was later suggested that Disney felt little obligation to live up to the end of their bargain due to Williams' appearance in a competing animated film, 1992's Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, which he agreed to do before he was offered Aladdin. Disney argued that they had never agreed to anything in writing. Fern Gully's writer Jim Cox said that Katzenberg even tried to convince Williams to drop out of the film. Katzenberg did not want him voicing two animated characters in two animated movies at the same time and tried to force him not to do it. Robin was steaming. Like, it's my voice, you can't stop me. Disney responded to Williams' comments by saying that the issue stemmed from the actor being annoyed with the deal he had made after the movie became hugely successful. Also, in the same interview, Robin said he wouldn't likely work for Disney again, and if he did, he would acknowledge that they lied about using his voice to market Aladdin. Disney would later issue Williams an apology, but they insisted there was no wrongdoing. To make things right, the company also sent Williams a Picasso painting that was reportedly valued over $1 million for his work in the film, but it still didn't faze Williams. The New Yorker published a detailed piece on Robin Williams when it came time to promote Miss Doubtfire. An excerpt gives a possible reason behind Disney's point of view. Disney executives won't talk about the subject, but in their silence, it's not hard to hear the following argument. We put Robin in 3 films that saved, then enhanced his film career. We created the character of the Genie, and at the end of the day, we're more or less even. After merchandise and video sales were counted, it was predicted that the original Aladdin film earned as much as $750 million for Disney. The impact was much larger than a 90-minute movie, as it inspired theme park rides too. The movie sold 15 million copies in its first month and began a trend of other Disney film purchases for the holiday seasons as well. To back up this information, it was reported that after the first weekend of Aladdin's video release, sales of Pinocchio rose by 156%. After finding out that Disney gave Julia Roberts a $750,000 bonus after the success of Pretty Woman, which grossed over $300 million, an executive was asked what would be an appropriate bonus for Robin Williams. Addressing Roberts' bonus, the executive said the same amount would be too low for Williams. After the success of Aladdin, a straight-to-DVD sequel, The Return of Jafar, was released, but Williams refused to sign on for the 1994 release, and he was replaced by Dan Castellaneta, better known for being the voice of Homer Simpson of The Simpsons. That same year, Jeffrey Katzenberg stepped down as the studio's chief after allegations that the studio was failing to pay him enough for his input in the blockbuster movies like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. Replacing Katzenberg was Joe Roth, who immediately issued an apology to Williams. Robin complained that we took advantage of his performance as the Genie in the film. Exploiting him to promote some other business inside the company, we had a specific understanding with Robin not to do that. Nevertheless, we did that. We apologized for it. There is no question in my mind that we need to apologize to Williams for not diffusing the issue in the media that his motive appeared to be about money. I've known Robin for years and know that none of these issues are ever about money. They're simply about principle. Williams accepted Joe's apology, calling it a decent thing. It's like country reestablishing diplomatic relations. It's a good feeling because I've done good things there. I wasn't trying to shake anybody down. Hawking merchandise is one thing I don't do. As a result of Roth's public apology, it was confirmed in September of 1995 that Williams would be reprising his role as a Genie for the second straight-to-DVD sequel, Aladdin and the King of Thieves, with Williams reportedly receiving a $1 million salary this time around. Williams' return also meant that animated footage and recordings that featured Williams' replacement had to be scrapped and a story had to be rewritten to suit Williams' comic styling. Dan Castellaneta had already provided the voice for the Genie, but after signing Williams, everything was re-recorded. Williams has since then starred in several movies produced by Disney, including 1997's Flubber and 2009's Old Dogs. The success of Aladdin should have ensured a working relationship between Williams and Disney for years to come. After Aladdin was released, animated film voiceovers were done by people specifically trained as voice actors. But since Aladdin's release, celebrity voice acting has become the norm due to marketability of big-name actors, with some productions even basing the characters around the actor providing the voice. Ask Anyone ended the most important aspect of the show business is business, and celebrities are big business. Robin understood this, but morally he didn't feel right, being used to sell merchandise, and he wanted the story and film to speak for itself. When it came to this incident, Disney learned their lesson. If they want a big name star in their film, the least they can do is abide by the contract, because without Robin Williams, there is no Aladdin. Stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. Follow Comedy Hype across all social media and look out for the original content on our new streaming service at comedyhype.com. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Terrence Sims.